most important question I'm going to ask you then today is, which book changed your life?
Okay, I don't know if you're going to like this answer because
It's okay. We don't have to like the answer. It just has to be true.
well, okay, all right, fine, fair enough. Yeah, I want to be true, I want to be honest. So it's not a book, it's a video
Well,
game.
that's cheating. That's cheating, Laura. I said which book?
You know, I said you weren't going to like the answer. But people ask me this all the time, well, not this particular question, but, you know, most inspiring and made you want to write and, you know, variations of that. And it really isn't a book because I read as a child, but I didn't read a lot. And I liked the idea of being a writer and writing my own books, but I never like had one book that was the thing that made me want that. The thing that made me want that, and kind of going back to what you said earlier about being storytellers, and it's kind of like, that's who we are as people, that's our nature to tell stories. The thing that made me want to do that was playing the Final Fantasy video game series. So for anyone who doesn't know, it inspired or contributed heavily to my love of dragons, to epic fantasy, to sweeping narratives, to world building, to side characters with their own backstories that crisscross and interchange with the plot and the main characters, to magic and awesome battles and weapons and all the fun stuff. That's what, you know, kind of like my mind was blown. And specifically Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 9. And I was 8 and 10 respectively when I played those games. So in that kind of impressionable sponge-like time of my life. And they taught me what stories could be, and they made me want to write my own stories because of the things that I saw in those games, the places we visited, the towns, the characters, the magic systems. That made me want to create my own, because I was like, wow, if it was my town, it would be like this bit of that game and that bit of this game, and then my own twist, and then I'm going to add dragons, and then I'm going to do this, and then it's going to, and that was what sparked the I want to write fantasy. And Final Fantasy 9 was the main inspiration for my debut, Marauder. If you've played Final Fantasy 9 and then you read Marauder, you will see so many little similarities where I've not exactly copied, but I'm like, it's heavily inspired certain locations and world building and like just the plot in so many ways. I now am a lot more original, but that very first book, it was an idea that I had when I was 16, and it was deeply inspired by those two games. And if it wasn't for those two games, I would not be here today. So that's what changed my life. That's like the pivotal moment. And I'm very sorry it wasn't a book. But
Don't be.
They're RPGs, there's lots of reading in them. So it's basically a book, but just in the visual sort of way.
That's an excellent answer. I'd never even considered that sort of angle before, but you're right. I mean, yes, on the one hand, it is plenty of story in there to be considered a book, but those things do inspire us, don't they? And they do draw out those stories from us. I think that's a really good answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, I play a lot of games myself. I haven't played Final Fantasy, but I do play a lot of games myself.
Highly recommend. 9. Start with 9.
Okay.